Hi everyone, welcome back to the Shelves Have Eyes. I'm Phantom, and today we'll be doing the first of the 6 Constructicons that form Devastator for Unboxing Day 2025. So here we have Scrapper. He is a Voyager class figure, and it says right here that he combines in 17 steps. And where is it? Here it says 1 of 5 packages to make Devastator. Collect to combine. So the important thing to note is that technically these are Voyager class figures only in terms of essentially price point and accessory. They are all essentially the exact same size, even if they are packaged as either Voyagers, Deluxe, or the Leader Commander class. But they are all essentially the exact same size. It just comes down to how much Hasbro wanted to charge you for the engineering and articulation and accessories. So, without further ado, let's get started on Scrapper, the leader of the Constructicons. So here is Scrapper, freed from his packaging. A pretty nice figure, quite honestly. In terms of size and articulation, he's about what you'd expect from a modern style figure. He has the ability to lift his arms all the way up. He's got a nice arm rotation, a regular jointed elbow. Here he has a wide range of articulation here in his hip joint. He does not have a hip swivel, and he has a fairly standard, once again, one-way knee. This does turn, so you do have a range of articulation there. He does have odd ankle tilts, just in case you would like to pose him like that. All told, a nice looking figure. On the back, you do have his scoop, but that's nothing really new. It's fairly standard. It does not weigh him down. He's pretty well balanced, actually, in robot mode. His knee joints are a little lower down than his knees really should be, but I don't really think that that's a make or break. It seems there are certain design choices for these individual figures that must have been made simply because they combine. But you know what? Looking back on the transformation patterns and the articulation for the Combiner Wars versions of the Constructicons, this is a much better looking figure. Studio Series prides itself on trying to be as screen accurate as possible, and for the most part, this is actually pretty successful. I mean, he is a pretty good looking figure. His proportions are very good. Unfortunately, there is a lot of this open space, and his hands, as part of his transformation sequence, his hands do not really stay very well in that form. But even so, he's got a pretty good range of articulation for essentially a figure that lies somewhere between Deluxe and Voyager. He does come with the 2 parts to Devastator's gun. I'm not exactly certain whether these parts connect to Scrapper in his vehicular or robot mode, but you can take his handheld blaster off, and theoretically, because all of these are in 5mm pegs, he could just dual wield the 2 pieces of Devastator's gun if you wanted more firepower. So yeah, those minor quibbles about his knees and his hands aside, I really like his head sculpt. His head sculpt is really nice. It really captures the look of the character from the cartoon. There's really not much I can say. I really like him. I think that side profile, he looks really nice. He handles nice. He's a very hefty figure. he seems very well put together and sturdy, and I really like that, especially considering how flimsy some of the Combiner Wars versions of these figures had a tendency to be. But let's transform him and see what that looks like. So here he is in his vehicular mode. He does roll. It's very nice. It's very compact. Doesn't really look like a construction vehicle that you would recognize, really. In the back here, there is a little tab where you can put his handheld blaster on if you just wanted to do that. He rolls really nicely. Alternatively, you can put both pieces of Devastator's blaster on either side. There are pegs, and then slot his actual handgun into a 5mm post on the side of the gun. So this looks like he's ready for action, a militarized bulldozer. In vehicle mode, he looks pretty good. I mean, there's really nothing more to say. It looks like you would imagine a rugged construction vehicle to look. I like the fact that all of his pieces can be placed on top, so you're not missing pieces or taking something away and leaving it off to the side because they don't go anywhere. I like that. Frankly, considering the fact there's very little leeway here underneath, I like the fact that he still rolls very nicely. His vehicle mode it doesn't really look great because it doesn't really look like the construction vehicle it's supposed to be. But you know what? I get it. It looks nice. It rolls. It looks nice. I like the fact all the weapons attached to it. It's a pretty good vehicle mode. Very different from what we got in Combiner Wars. But this is a win. I like this. This is really nice. I like the articulation. I think the transformation is very simple, but it works in that puzzle box kind of way where you see the tabs and you see how certain parts of him fold, and then you realize how you're supposed to put them together. So I really like this. I think it works very, very well. So there we have it. That is Scrapper. He's pretty good. I'm going to have the same issue with all of these Constructicons, I believe, which is the fact that I don't like the fact that he is priced at Voyager for what is essentially a deluxe class figure. In terms of engineering, he isn't too tricky. I would imagine that a lot of the engineering is really just down to how he combines with the rest of the Constructicons into Devastator. But with all of those caveats, I think you are left with a really nice looking figure that, as much as I'd hate to say it, could do with a third-party upgrade just to fill in some spots, put some repro labels on him, toy hacks on him, to really flesh out some of these very plain-looking arms and legs. Even with those things, on the whole, I'm pretty impressed with him. I got him for less than Voyager cost, so I'm happy about that. If I had paid Voyager cost for him, especially now that all the stores have changed their prices for all of the different sizes, I probably would have been a little bit miffed. Just curious little anecdote. When I went to Florida with my family, we went to Disney World and we went to Universal. We went to Universal and I took my boys on the Transformers ride, which was just as enjoyable this time as it was when I went on it well on 10 years ago. However, when I walked through the gift shop, I had been unable to find Scrapper in a store for a long time. I was kind of late to the party with the Constructicons. So by the time I went looking, Scrapper was nowhere to be found in any retail store near me. He was at Universal Studios but they were asking for $64.99 for this figure. $64.99 for this figure. I was completely flabbergasted. But also, they don't sell figures of Evac anymore? I was also really surprised at that, considering the fact Evac is who you're riding in the ride. And the last time I went there, the whole gift shop was filled with Evacs. Thankfully, I bought one then, but I did not see a single Evac in the gift shop this time around. But what I did find was this guy for $65. Anyway, I got him online for $24.99, and I'm happy with him at this price point. I would say if you are not going to get any of the Constructicons, it's not like I would suggest this guy over any of the others. As a completist, I'm going to collect all, and I have collected all of the Constructicons. So for right now, this is a really nice figure. I like the articulation. I like the look of him. It's modern while still remaining fairly cartoon accurate. So this is a win. We'll see how he fares up against the rest of this wave's Constructicons. And also later on, I'll be doing a comparison between these figures, the Studio Series Constructicons and the Combiner Wars Constructicons. So stay tuned for that. Thank you very much for joining me for the first video, my first video for this Unboxing Day 2025. I'll be continuing to roll out Constructicon videos, and the Boxing Day 2025 will culminate in the video of Devastator and comparison between Studio Series Devastator and Combiner Wars Devastator. So I hope that you join me for the rest of the episodes rolling out today. Thank you very much for joining me here on The Shelves Have Eyes. I've been Phantom. Have a good day, y'all.